Hi guys, a very good evening to all of you. Once again, welcome to our analysis session. We have just concluded a session on the overall analysis of CLAT 2022 that happened just today, 2 to 4. Now we are going to take up section-wise analysis. I'm going to start with quant. In fact, I'm not doing all the analysis. I'm going to do the analysis for the quant section, which is a very small section. But we are going to have legal, English, critical reasoning, that is logical reasoning following up, and of course the GK section. So we have all of that lined up today itself. I'm sure you guys already know the timing. If not, the legal is going to be happening at 8. The GK will be happening at 9 or 9:30 if I'm not mistaken, around that time. And you have English and critical reasoning starting from 9:30 actually. Yeah, GK will not take too much of time, so 9 to 9:30, half an hour is the only time for your GK, because at the end of the day you just need to get the key. There's no explanation there, right? So that's what we have in store, my friends. So I hope all of you are ready for the analysis. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take up each question and give you what is the correct answer. I'm not going to solve too much because this is not a session on explaining what is the correct answer. That is a different session altogether. But here I will be talking about what is the correct answer, should you have attempted it or not, which how many of these is a good attempt, and so on and so forth. So that's basically the agenda for the session. Well, hola to you too, Aditya and Shampati. No, Shampati, we are not deliberately delaying the session. Please understand, we are trying to put together a lot of things, making sure that there are no errors from our side, because at the end of the day, a lot of you are listening to us. You will feel happy or sad depending upon what analysis we are giving you. So we need to make sure that there is absolutely, whatever we are saying, at least we are sure it should not be done in a hodgepodge quick way and try to give out something as soon as possible. No, that's not our agenda. When we come up with something, we want to be sure to a reasonable extent. We cannot say 100% sure. You're all legal students, so it's always to a reasonable extent, right? So that's the reason. I hope that is okay, acceptable to you, Shampati Yadav, right? So let's find, yes, the answer key will be uploaded. It is, the work is still going on, friends. It should be there in the next 5, 10, 15 minutes at best. By the time this session is done, definitely the answer key will be there. Alright, so just hold on. Anyway, I'm giving you the key for the quant part. So 15 questions, the answer key will be done in the next 20-25 minutes. Okay, please hold on. But anyway, the entire answer key will be given out by the time this session is particularly completed. Okay, right. So now let's start by understanding what happened. The basic modalities, all of you know what happened. I am only going to talk about the quant, which is basically this section over here, which had 15 questions as expected. There's no surprise there. Now, the good amount of time to be spent on this would have been around 15 minutes. In this 15 minutes, an above average student could have seen all the 3 sets. There were 3 sets, so it is each set 5 questions, and there are 3 sets like that, 15. A good or above average student in maths would have been able to read all the 15 questions and attempted around 12 easily. Could have been 1 wrong or 2 wrong, so you will be ending up getting at least 10 corrects and 2 wrongs. That is the least what I expect for a above average student to get. If you're good in maths, you could have done anywhere something like 13 to 14 questions attempt in 15 minutes, or probably even 18 minutes is fine. If you're good in maths, 18 minutes is still okay. If you can get about 13 to 14 attempts, probably get 1 or 2 wrong, so you're looking at 12 corrects and 1 or 2 wrong. So you're looking at 11 marks or probably 11.5 marks from this section alone. So that's not a bad score to get from 18 minutes, which is actually a bit on the higher side. But yes, it is okay for you to do this if you are good in maths and if this is a scoring area for you. Okay. Well, let's take a look at what happened in terms of difficulty level. Quant was actually an easy section. Now, I'm not saying it is easy because the questions were very easy to calculate. No, that's not what I meant. The reason why we are saying quant is easy is because in comparison to the others, if you spend some amount of time, some time you spend, you will definitely get a kind of mark which is in sync with the time that you spend. So let's say you spend 10 minutes, you could have got something like 6 to 7 marks. If you have spent something like 15 minutes, you could have got something like 9 marks. So you spend time, you could have got marks here because there are no traps, hardly any traps, straightforward questions, little bit of calculation required, but yes, that's how it was. But it was not the case in the other sections, as you would have noticed in our analysis that I and Nivedita ma'am did some time back. We are talking about English being tricky, logical reasoning being tricky, legal was not straightforward. In fact, it's only current affairs which was actually a bit more easier than quant with respect to time spent and marks that you can score. So that's how the math section was. So let's quickly take a look at why I say this math section was easy. Okay. Marking scheme, of course, this I'm sure all of you know. It has no sectional time limit, plus 1 mark, minus 0.25 for each negative answer. So that's anyway quickly out of the way. So we had 3 sets, set 1, set 2, set 3. Each set was for 5 marks. 2 sets were purely on percentage calculations, and 1 set was a mixture of percentage and ratio. 1 set was a mixture of percentage and ratio. Okay, so let's take a look at what are these sets. So this is the first set. I'm sure you guys remember this. You have your papers with in front of you, so I'm not going to explain and solve it over here, but I will tell you should you have attempted this or not. I'll give you a brief 1-minute analysis on this. Firstly, look at the percentages. You're talking about a 19%, you're talking about a 16%, you're talking about a 17%. Friends, please remember, if I give you 25%, it is easy because you can write it as 1/4 of a number. If I give you, let's say 37.5%, it is easy. If you know, you can write it as 3/8 of a number. The problem comes with 16% and 17%. It is not an easy number to calculate. So this set had multiple such percentages over here. You had 18, you had 19, you had 17, you had 16. Again, 20% is easy. 20% is 1/5. So you can quickly calculate 20%, whereas 17, 16, 18, 19s are not that easy. So I'm not saying that this set should have been left, but given the 3 choices, you should have at least taken these into cognizance. You should have taken these into account before you started this set. But let's take a look at what happened in this set. Was it really undoable? Despite having these percentages, this set was doable. However, I would recommend that this should have been your last set, not the first one. That's okay, but let's take a look at what are your answers for the questions. Okay, so this is the first question. Now this is another problem here. In this, look at these numbers. 49 point something, 47 point something, 50 point something, 51 point something. The answers are quite close. So if your approximation is not good, your answer could go for a toss. That's another problem with this set. So you're spending 5-6 minutes on a set. You should not get more than 1 mistake. At best 1 mistake. That too in 1 set. So if you're spending 6 minutes in 1 set and 6 minutes in another, you can get 4 corrects, 1 wrong. You should get all 5 correct. So that's typically how you should look at. 12 minutes getting about 9 questions correct. You spend another 5-6 minutes, you should be getting 2-3 questions correct or probably another 3-4 questions correct in the last set, which typically I'm assuming that 2 are easy and 1 is not that easy. Anyway, so the correct answer for this, those of you who have attempted this, quant was my lifesaver. 12 attempts and last 2 questions were very easy. Yes, Sachin, that's actually true. But anyway, let's take a look at the answer for this particular question. It was 47.82. Now again, friends, I'm not getting into the calculation part over here. I'm just giving out the key. So I hope you guys are okay with it. If you want a solution to this, we will have this entire solution coming up for you a bit later, because that will take time. You have to type it all out, and I don't have the time to solve it right now because we have lined up continuously session after session. So right now the answer to this session is this question is 47.82. So those of you who've got it right, well, that's 1 mark for you. The second question, what is the ratio among boys and girls for non-medical college or non-medical stream? So the answer for this particular question is 8:17. Okay, now remember, you had both 17:8 and 8:17. Yours truly made this error of not reading exactly what they gave, and I ended up marking this, which is wrong. But the correct answer is 8:17. So that's basically the answer for this particular question. I'm sure not many of you would have done the same error that I have done, but it doesn't matter whether I do an error or not, because I'm not going to get into any of these NLUs, right? I'm just doing it for analysis. But yes, the correct answer happens to be 8:17, which is option C. Third question, which of the following courses have been opted by minimum number of students? Now this question, if you try to solve and get an answer, will take a long time. You should have seen the percentages, taken a guess and moved on, or left this question. If you try to calculate this, you will spend a lot of time. Can I quickly see what are the answer options for this? What is the correct answer option for this? Can I quickly see in the chat? How many of you attempted? If yes, what is your answer? Which of the following courses has been opted by minimum number of boys? Guys, quick answers. Let me see how many of you got this right. Sachin guessed B. Others? Sachin, your guess is actually correct. The correct answer happens to be fine arts, option B. So friends, in this, if you actually try to calculate, it becomes lengthy. This question is not meant to be calculated, but you should be looking at percentages. So for example, if you're looking at non-medical percentages, if the total is T, then if the boys are, let's say, non-medical is, let's say, 20%. In this, the girls are 30%. 30% of total. I'm just taking it as an example. Similarly, if you look at total of, let's say, medical, this is fine arts, or let us say this is commerce. If total of medical is 15%, then you're taking 20% of total as girls. So you're not supposed to calculate the boys then. How much is the boys? You're not supposed to calculate. If you do that, you'll take time. So what you're supposed to look at is, first of all, total commerce is what percentage? If the total commerce is high, but the girls' percentage is less, you should choose an option which had overall percentage high, but girls' percentage less, which happens in your fine arts. So that is how you need to solve. You're not supposed to calculate. If you calculate, you'll prove it, but you don't get extra marks for proving it. Okay? Well, that's basically the answer over here. Then you're looking at for how many girls have opted non-medical. So this is not flow, this is for. I hope you excuse us. For how many girls, or rather, this is not for how many. It's how. How many girls have opted for non-medical? This is a straight calculation you can do. 30% of 1700. It's a straightforward calculation. Within seconds, you'll get the answer. The correct answer happens to be option D, 510. And the last question in this set is over here. Once again, it's similar to the third question that we have seen, I believe. Which of the following courses have been opted by maximum number of boys? Once again, it's a question which is not supposed to have been calculated and got. You should have observed the percentages and then got the answer. And the correct answer happens to be arts. So the correct answer here is arts. So that's the key for the first five questions. I don't know how many of you got all 5 correct. Can I quickly see? Anybody who got all 5 correct? Quick response. We don't have too much of time, so I have to quickly move on. Anybody who got all 5 correct? Okay, looks like none. Let's move on. Next set is this. We have a set where we're talking about a company with with production PQRST. So they gave 2 pieces of information. So they have P, Q, R, S and T, and they said that the total volume produced is 3000 and total value is 50 million. Then they gave each item what is the percentage. So if you can look at it, P is 21% of the total production and 18% of the turnover. So P value production is 20% of 3000 and 18% of 50 million. So this is the data that has been given. You can fill this entire table. I'm not going to do that here, but that's the basic structure. So once the table is given, this entire thing is of no use to you. Once you make the table, the entire thing is of no use to you. But anyway, let's take a look at what the questions are or what the answers are. Which product has the highest selling price per ton? The correct answer for this is actually your option S. Now in this, if you're looking at highest value calculation, you're looking at 9 by 630 for one, and similarly 8.5 by 480 for one, and so on and so forth. So the fractions become a bit tedious to look at. You're not supposed to calculate exactly like this, but you're supposed to approximate it. Okay, so you can see this is 1/7. Similarly, you can approximate this. So you can see which you have to compare. Is this fraction higher or that fraction higher? Don't waste your time trying to see what is 1 by 7 as a value and then compare the final values. You are supposed to compare the fractions in this. So that is the correct answer. Option C, value is S. Okay. The next question is, what is the average selling price per ton of all products taken? Again, the very straightforward question. Even somebody who does not know maths could do this basic calculation. You're saying that the total cost is 50 million divided by total volume is 3000 tons. So this is basically what you are going to look at, and the correct answer happens to be option D, which is 16,667 rupees per ton. It's a very straightforward question. I'm sure quite a few of you would have got this right. Then the next question over here, what percentage of turnover of R has a turnover of T? Now here, if you notice, R's turnover is 20%, T's turnover, R is 20%, T is also 20%. So if the percentages are same, then basically they are equal. If they are equal, the answer should be option A, 100%. Again, a dead easy question if you understand the nature of percentages. So the answer is option A, 100%. Done, over and dusted, done and dusted. So this set is actually an easy set. Students who understand percentages would have picked this set for sure, because you can see many of these questions are very, very easy, straightforward. It would not take you even few seconds to do this. Next. Question number 9, what is the percentage of profit earned from the sale of R if the expenditure incurred on production of R is 15,000 per ton? So the answer to this question, again, this will take a little bit of calculation, but it was 23.46%. That is the correct answer for this particular question. This would take a little bit of time. It is not as easy as the last two questions. Students could have done it, or they could have left this if you are looking at all three sets. So if students who are looking at all three sets, typically they don't sit and solve all questions. They will say, okay, this takes time, let me move on to the next question. So they will do 3-4 questions, 3-4 questions, 3-4 questions. So effectively you're looking at 10 to 12 questions in 3 sets and finish in 15 minutes. So that's basically how they attempt very, very quickly. Okay. Right, the next question, the last question in this particular set, how much loss is incurred to a company if the expenditure of production of tea? So this basically the question was, and the answer was option A, 5 million is your answer for this particular question. Alright, so that so this set could have been done. This is not a difficult question. 10th question. So in this basically 4 questions you could have done, 1 question you could have left and moved on. In the previous set you could have done 3 questions, 2 you could have left and moved on. So in these 2 sets you could have easily done around 7 to 8 questions. Okay. Last set coming your way, and the key for that coming your way. So this is the set you're talking about, a company having IT, marketing and so on and so forth. So the basic breakup was given. Again, so this is one question which used both percentages and ratios together. So you need to understand both percentages and ratios to get the right answers in this kind of a question. And yes, this, if you understood it, it was easy. If you did not understand, you will waste a lot of time on this, because this was a lot of information to process. But yes, the calculations were not difficult at all. The calculations were easy. The problem with this set is, if you get it, if you understand it, the process is simple. But understanding was a challenge in this question. Okay. So let's take a look at what are the questions. How many employees are working in IT and accounts department together? This is actually an easy question, because if you notice, they have given you percentage breakup of IT. In fact, what are we looking at? Quickly, if I can take a look at it, IT and accounts, right? So IT is here. So there's 18%, and accounts was over here. Accounts department is 11. So total accounts and IT is a total of 29%. So you just have to calculate 29% of 4500. That's it. So that's a very, very straightforward question. You are supposed to have calculated 29% of 4500, and the answer turns out to be 1305. So if you understood, that's what I said. Despite so much of data being given to you, if you realize what is asked, this question could have been cracked, because in seconds it will not take too much of time. Then you're looking at the next question. What is the ratio of number of males in marketing department to the number of males in HR department? Again, if you skim through the data properly without getting confused, this question could be done. The calculation is not at all hard. The calculation is quite simple, and the correct answer for this is 4:5, option A. Okay. Then the next question is the last 3 questions coming your way, my friends. I hope till now your journey in quant has been Good. Last three questions. Number of females in marketing department forms what percentage of the total number of employees in the organization? Here, the correct answer happens to be option C. The percentage females in marketing department forms what percentage of the total number of employees in the organization? Again, this is not a difficult question. If you put in the numbers, they will cancel out very, very quickly. It's not at all a difficult question. How many females are employed in purchase department? Again, this is not a difficult one because purchase department we just saw, I think was, in fact, purchase department. This is a straight question. In fact, I'll just give you, yes. So purchase was 24%, in which ratio is 1:1. So basically, you have to take 12%, half, because the men and women are in 1:1 ratio. So half of 24% is 12%. So you want to calculate 12% of 4,500. That's all. Okay, so it's not a difficult question at all. So it's an easy question, right? So the correct answer for this happens to be option B. 12% of 4,500 is 540. And the last question is, what is the ratio of the total number of males to total number of females working in all departments put together? Now, this question was actually lengthy and difficult because you should go to every department, calculate the number of males, calculate the number of females, then add the males, add the females, then find the ratio. Even I left this question in the exam because I knew this will take time. I can do it, but it doesn't make any sense spending 3 minutes on this one question. So basically, a lot of students like me would have seen this and left this question. So typically you're talking about 3 questions to 4 questions in this set, around 4 questions in the second set, and 3 to 4 questions in the first set. So that's the reason why we said the total number of attempts in quant could be anywhere between 11 to 12 in about 15 minutes. Okay, 11 to 12 in about 15 minutes. So what is the correct answer for this? Let's take a look at it. The correct answer is 41:34. Not at all an easy question. In fact, I would say this is the only difficult question in the entire 15, which requires a lot of calculations. Okay? Udeshi, that's exactly what you're supposed to do. Just because you know how to solve it does not mean that you end up solving it, because you will waste a lot of time. So if you know how to solve it, you'll also know that it will take time. That is the beauty of it, so you leave it. Okay? So the correct answer is option C. 41:34 is the correct answer. So guys, that's the end of the quant session right now. So we have these 3 sessions coming your way. CLAT legal will be starting from 8. So quickly grab a bite if you can, if you're hungry. Be ready by 8 o'clock. Nivedita ma'am will be coming up and taking the legal section and giving you the key for the legal section. Similarly, we'll be doing the same thing for current affairs. Current affairs will be not a long thing. It will be a half an hour thing. But this actually, I think it's 10 o'clock. I think it's going to be at 9:30. Please take note. This is at 9:30. It's not going to take 1 hour because current affairs will not take up more than half an hour. We just have to give you the key. There's no explanation there also. So by 9:30, we're going to start the last English and critical reasoning analysis. There are 2 sections done by Krishnendra Sir in one session starting at 9:30. Right? Thank you guys. Thank you friends. Thank you guys. I hope you liked the session and you got. I think I made your day happier, not worse off. But yes, all the best for the remaining exams, and please stay tuned for onto our channel for the other sessions coming your way. Thank you and see you soon.